All right, guys, so I've just killed one of my best performing Amazon FBA products. And you can see in this chart that sales are really good in September, but in October, things have been going downhill fast. But the funny thing is, this was completely my fault, and as a result of the actions that I took. So in this video, I want to explain what has happened, and I've got a few really important lessons that I want to share with you guys. So make sure you stick around for the entire video. So this particular product sells around 400 to 500 units per month. So it averages somewhere between £300 to £500 of revenue per day. And you can see over the past week or so, we have basically paid the price for some of the changes that I made at the end of September, which I'm going to fully explain in this video. And yeah, we're down to less than £100 of sales per day. And unless I take drastic action now, this product is dead. And this is backed up if we look at the BSR history and the price point, which I'll explain as well, because this goes hand in hand. So the BSR history on this chart here is the blue line that you can see staircasing across the screen. And in September, everything was going absolutely fine. And then you can see at the end of September there, the green line shoots up. The green line is my sale price. This is what I actually sell to customers at. And you've got the yellow line going across the top there, and that is basically my RRP. And the reason I sell below my RRP is to get the strike through you see when you're selling on Amazon. So if your list price or your RRP is £25 and you're selling it at £21 or £22, you should get a nice little strike through that shows it's kind of on offer when it isn't really. Now, in order to get that strike through, you have to sell at the higher price. Amazon doesn't tell you how many units or for how long, but generally I find as long as I do it for 1 or 2 weeks every now and again, then I can keep that strike through. And the reason I decided to do it at the end of September is if you guys watched one of my videos from a month or two ago, I was talking about how I'd actually ordered a load of stock for this particular product, my Q4 stock, my Christmas stock that was supposed to last me for November, December and January. Well, there'd been some delay on that. It was supposed to be ready to leave China at the end of September, and the shipment was ready at the end of September. However, I completely forgot there is a national holiday in China in October called Golden Week. And basically for an entire week, the whole country shuts down and exports shut down as well. So my shipment was ready at the end of September, but as things are, because of this delay, the shipment didn't leave until the 18th of October. So I lost the best part of 2.5 to 3 weeks. And when I'm ordering my stock, I usually only kind of have a 2-week overlap. So I know that I'm going to be going out of stock. So I had the choice. I could continue selling at the rate I was selling, which I was really happy with, and then have an out of stock period in late November, potentially early December, which I really don't want to be out of stock in peak season. Or I could try and slow things down now to the lowest point I could possibly get away with, and then try and rebuild the sales and the ranks in time for when that new inventory arrives in what's going to be probably 5 to 6 weeks at this point. So that's why I took the decision at the end of September. The price went back up to the RRP. So I lost the strike through and I was selling at a few pound extra. And this is where the first important lesson that you guys need to be aware of. When you make a change on Amazon, whether that's a change to your listing in terms of details or imagery, or a change to your price, don't judge it based on the first few days of data. I've used this tactic again and again and again, and it always takes a good 2 to 3 weeks to fully see how Amazon reacts and how your ranks and sales react to those changes. So we can see that after the price shot up here at the end of September, very slowly my BSR, which is your best seller rank, and this is within the category that you're in, how well your product is selling against the other products in that category. That's all that best seller rank is. If there's 50,000 products in that category, they'll be numbered from 1 to 50,000 based on how well or how fast they've been selling over a recent period of time. And we can see this slowly staircasing up over the next couple of weeks. And that marries in exactly with the sales decline that we saw. We saw the BSR increasing. So it went from about 2,000 up to, well, at the low point a couple of days ago, over 6,000. And you can see the impact that had on the sales, where things were good in September. Then the BSR started creeping up. And the BSR was creeping up because my organic ranks were also in decline as well. So the organic ranks declined, probably because my conversion rate dropped because the price point was higher. And because of that, the BSR started to go up. It's just the BSR is basically a consequence of your sales slowing down. So if I take you into the keyword tracker in Helium 10, I can show you exactly what happened to my organic ranks. So you guys have to be tracking your organic ranks for the keywords that you're targeting on Amazon so that when there are fluctuations in your sales, you can monitor what's going on. And when you're launching your product, you can see where you're actually making any progress with the PPC sales you're generating and how that is impacting your position in the organic search results. So I track, you can see here, I think I tracked 26 different keywords for this particular product with a total search volume of around about 33,000. Now, obviously I'm going to blur out these keywords so you can't see what this particular product is. But the top search term has a search volume of over 20,000. So my rank for that particular search term is so important. You have to be tracking your organic ranks. I say that so many times in so many videos. You need to know what is going on. Track your organic ranks. That is lesson number 2. But coming back to my highest volume keyword that I target, we can see how that responded to the price change. So at the end of September, you can see I am in a really good position. I'm in the, I got pushed up as high as position 5, which is great. But as long as I'm in kind of the top 20 to 15 results, I still get really good conversions off of this keyword because the search volume is so high. But you can see as soon as I put that price up, that keyword started to drop, or my position, my organic position for that keyword started to drop. And that is purely because my conversion rate would have been dropping because of the higher price. And we got to the point where over the past few days, we've dropped down to position 25, 30, which basically isn't in the first page, and no one is going to see me there. So this is where I'm drawing the line with this experiment, or it's not so much an experiment, it's a planned reduction in rank and sales to try and prevent a longer out of stock period in peak season. So that's why I'm doing it. So I'm going to rebuild this. And if you guys want, I'll make another video in a month or so, because I will rebuild these ranks. I've done it before. And if we go over kind of the 90-day or 1-year view, if it shows me here, you can see I've done this thing again and again and again. You can rebuild the ranks. Now, obviously, the key goal when selling on Amazon is to avoid going out of stock. But it does happen to everyone with every product at some point. So and this is probably lesson number 3. You have to be really on top of your inventory planning. You need to know how much you're expected, or how many units you're expecting to sell each month, what your lead time is with your manufacturer, and what the lead time is to get it shipped to the UK, and then another week or 2 for it to get processed into stock. So this particular batch I ordered back in August, but it's not going to be in stock until the end of November at the very, very earliest. So it's so important you're on top of your inventory management to try and avoid those out of stock periods. So you don't have to do things like this, which rebuilding your ranks or spending lots on PPC to relaunch your products when they do come back into stock. So over the next few weeks, I've got to get these ranks going back up, but not too quickly, because if I rebuild them too quickly, I'm going to have a long out of stock period. So I've already bought myself kind of 2.5 weeks from what I've done over the past few weeks, but I don't want to push it too much further. I need to rebuild these ranks before this product is completely dead and you are unable to revive it, because if you get too low, you'll kind of end up in a spiral. So that's why I've got to draw the line now and start to repair things. And now the next lesson I just really want to drive home is how price sensitive some products are. Now this isn't all niches, but you can see with this particular product, this product price just going up a few pounds has a massive impact on how well this product converts, and then the subsequent knock-on that has on organic ranks and the overall sales. So you have to keep that in mind when you're tweaking your price, or when you're planning to sell your product initially. You need to make sure your product is going to be profitable at the more competitive price points. Don't launch a product if it only works at a higher untested price point. You need to exist in demand at the price point you're going to be targeting to put yourself in the safest position and give yourself a good chance of success. And when you start experimenting with your price, because everyone has to go through this period where they try to find the ceiling price of a product, and that's usually increasing the price maybe £1 every few days and then seeing how things react. But when you're doing that, you have to be tracking your organic ranks so you can see how they're performing, as well as sometimes the drop-off in sales won't come immediately. So your organic ranks might start dropping a few positions. And if you're tracking them with something like Helium 10, you'll see those ranks start to drop off as you slowly increase your price. But if you're not tracking your ranks, your sales might still be good, because there's still good conversions available in the top 5 to 10 positions. But then all of a sudden, it might hit that kind of breaking point where sales just dry up completely, and you think you found your ceiling price, and actually your ceiling price was a couple of pounds ago. It's just that lag between the organic ranks dropping and your price going up. So some products are super price sensitive, and when you're experimenting with your price point, you have to be tracking your organic ranks so you can see how they respond to each other and be fully aware it can take 2 to 3 weeks to see the full effect. It's not just a case of a couple of days. Now, if you want to use Helium-10 to do this, this is what I would recommend. I've got a couple of discount codes that you guys can use. You've got FBA Elite 10. That will save you 10% off forever. So if you plan to use this for a long time, that will get you 10% off every single month. Alternatively, you can use FBA Elite 20, and that will get you 20% off for the first 6 months. Or the cheapest and most cost-effective way to pay for Helium-10 is to use either of those discount codes and pay for it annually, and that will save you 25% off for the entire year. Now, if you are thinking about starting Amazon FBA and you're struggling to find your first product, I'm currently helping my wife start her own private label business, and she's just found her first product. She found it within 48 hours of starting. So in the video I'm going to pop up now, I'm going to talk you through the exact process that I taught her to find her first product. So if you're struggling to find your first product, I'll see you guys in that video.